Yo, Real Rap Coalition podcast back at it again with another episode, I guess. Uh yeah, man, got some news. Shout out Everything Always, content creator that I go to for all of my not all of, but a good bit of my Marvel news. Disney Plus say y'all broke the bank. We ain't got no more bread. Now, I'm not fully caught up on everything Marvel as far as 2025. And also I don't know what the contributing factors are. That's what the video's for. But I would assume it's everything that goes straight to Disney Plus. So off the top of my dome, Daredevil, Reborn, the animated Spider-Man. I think it's like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man that just came out a couple months ago. That type of stuff. She-Hulk, that wasn't 2025, but it came straight to, streaming services. So as far as that stuff, so probably not the Captain America movie that just came out or Thunderbolts or stuff like that that go to the theaters, mainly the stuff that goes straight to the streaming services. But that's just my thought. That's what I think they may be talking about. But let's see what the video got to say, and I'll give my reaction afterwards.
As has been the case for the last 6 or 7 years I've been doing this, if the rumor mill is correct, they're usually several months ahead of the mainstream media. That's why at the beginning of the year, some of the stories we were beginning to hear about Marvel Studios putting projects on hold or canceling them outright, especially as it pertains to Disney Plus, didn't have the context we have now, and in just the last 2 weeks, from multiple credible sources, including the CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, Disney Plus is absolutely broke, and it's hard not to ascribe this $4 billion loss, as Bob Iger confirmed it,
Damn,
to its two biggest franchises where they've spent the most money
nigga,
in Star Wars and
4 M's? They lost 4 M's? Jesus Christ! And I don't know if this is just a creator's choice, but they're showing everything. So like they showed Captain America on there and shit. All of this other stuff, I'm assuming is going straight to streaming. So I don't know if it's just a recent thing or this is straight up Marvel Studios is breaking the bank and they're not making a return on our investment type thing. I don't know. So let's get some more information.
specifically Marvel. Today we're going to talk about those exact numbers, what's been revealed in the last 2 weeks, how Disney Plus ended up going broke on these projects, and what it means, of course, for the future of Marvel Studios in the MCU, because it certainly won't look anything like it has for the last 4 or 5 years. We're breaking it
Pardon the buffering.
all down, but first, if you could hit the subscribe button. Thanks to everyone who's been helping grow the channel lately, and if you haven't already, I just kindly invite you to do so. It's the number one thing you can do to help support us as content creators, plus it'll enter you for the Fantastic Four ticket giveaway. We'll announce a brand new winner at the end of this video. Okay, so this story really starts 2 weeks ago when Disney CEO Bob Iger admitted that Disney lost $4 billion in streaming and putting projects on Disney Plus. These huge budgets for TV shows like Andor and Secret Invasion, both of which went north of 250 million, simply didn't make any money, drive any subscriptions, or mean anything for the bottom line of Marvel, which means pretty much wholesale, they were losses. Not only that, the critical and fan acclaim, the reaction to how bad these projects were, set the franchises back, where you had something like Daredevil, one of Marvel Studios' better offerings during this year, not even reach Nielsen's SoundScan, which is borderline absolutely unacceptable for really.
Okay. Okay. I'm seeing the problem. Part of it, I think part of it is so far from what I'm getting is so they're saying people aren't subscribing. I'm not understanding the he's saying that people are saying that these projects were so bad. Now, I'm only 2 episodes into Daredevil. I'm a Daredevil fan. I started off watching Daredevil when it was still on Netflix. I watched all 3 seasons over there, and then I was like strongly anticipating, the Daredevil Reborn. And so far, I am entertained. I do see the difference. I might do a breakdown of it. It might be a little too late because of me and my wife just now getting to it. But I do see the difference in Netflix. I'm so sorry. I do see the difference in Netflix production and Disney Plus production. I don't know how much that contributes to this, but I do see the difference. Um, all of the other stuff. Okay, so She Hulk was bad. She Hulk was absolutely terrible. I made it 3 episodes into that and I shut it off. I don't even think it was 3 episodes. I did not even make it to the episode. Spoiler alert. I didn't make it to the episode where Daredevil enters. I just wasn't fucking with it. The Agatha All Along was dope as hell. Me and my wife watched that all in, I want to say, one day, maybe 2 days. Echo was okay. We watched that over maybe a 3 to 4 day span. It was okay. It didn't really reach the heights that Agatha All Along did, or like a WandaVision or something like that. But it it did okay for what it was. Um, as far as the movies, what has dropped? Wakanda Forever dropped on Disney Plus or went to Disney Plus. These are all after they were in the movie. So Wakanda Forever, really, really good movie. Uh, Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm biased because I'm a super huge Deadpool fan. However, I did love the movie, and I actually went with multiple people to see the movie, and they all thought the same exact thing. Even people that I know that weren't Deadpool fans before or even didn't see the first two went and saw that, and they were highly entertained. So I don't know what it is as far as the crossover to how that turns into subscriptions for the actual streaming service. But if people don't want to subscribe, I feel like that's a branding thing. I feel like that's a marketing thing. I feel like that's a pricing thing. Like Hulu Plus is kind of expensive when you think about it. And yeah, they got a lot of stuff on there to reach a lot of different fans, but with I mean, bootlegging is still a huge thing, and it does contribute to why people may not want to subscribe. Password and login information sharing, I do know, does uh, hinder um, money making as far as uh, the subscriptions go. Um, I get all of that, but I don't understand how that falls on Star Wars and Marvel. And I understand that those are the ones that's pumping out the most content, but I don't understand how it's automatically their fault. Marvel has historically been a production that spends a lot of money on their projects. Like I don't think it's any different now. Like this has always been a thing. And as the year goes on, as years go on, I'm pretty sure they're gonna continue to dump money into their products as much as they have to offer. But I don't understand how this falls on the shoulders of Marvel themselves and Star Wars themselves. But let's keep watching.
Any TV show that you're taking seriously, let alone a Marvel Studios television show on Disney Plus. And in fact, putting Marvel Studios Disney Plus shows under a microscope as a whole, the top performing show in the last year and a half has been Agatha All Along, which
Makes
reached
sense.
45 on the charts when shows like NBC's Matlock were in the top 10. Hey, no hate for Matlock, just making a point. Now, Bob Iger was quick to blame actual specifics like the lack of accountability because of the number of projects they were doing, and then took that same point of view and said that it diluted the brand and storytelling, to which they
Mm.
responded by making Marvel Studios' new plan releasing way less content. What he didn't address, however, was the permanent hit that the brand took.
The thing about that is Marvel, just like everywhere else, just like I'm sure DC, just like I'm sure HBO, just like I'm sure all of these other production agencies took a huge hit when both COVID and the writing strike happened. The writing strike happened and lasted way longer than COVID did. And it pushed a lot of stuff back. So they're still trying to catch up as far as what they put out because a lot of this stuff was supposed to be out as of 2 years ago. It's stuff still being pushed back in direct response of the writer strike and it taking so long for that to, pan out. So I don't know if it's that they're just putting too much on their plate or they already lost. They literally lost. I want to say Black Widow came out 2 years late, and that was supposed to be the very next project. From then, I don't remember us getting anything in that span of like 2020 to 2022 or halfway through 2021. I don't think we got anything from Marvel. And so the reason why they're putting out so much stuff is because all of this stuff got put on the back burner. I don't know if I don't know if what is it? What's it called? Spidey. Into the Spideyverse. I know that got pushed back on release, and now the third one has gotten pushed back a whole 2 years. Now I don't know if that's simply just Marvel or that's Marvel and Sony. I don't really understand the whole Marvel Sony uh Spider-Man contract and how that goes or what the splits are. But Sony, another one of the ones, but I'm pretty sure took a huge hit and took a huge loss whenever it came to this writer strike and shit like that. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
We're going to get to that a little bit later in this video. Now, this was recently followed up just days ago by Tony Gilroy, the guy who created Andor, talking
I think
about
that's
the
what
series
Star Wars
costing
saying.
$650 million for the
Jesus.
2 seasons and 24 episodes. $650 million. Guys,
That's crazy.
that's taking a TV show that even Star Wars fans themselves barely watched and is good but means nothing for their bottom line, converts to absolutely zero subscriptions, and spending 3 times the big budget of some of these Marvel movies, and they wonder how they lost $4 billion. This is just reckless spending. And the same can be said for Secret Invasion. If you go back and watch that series, $250 million.
You know what? And I forgot about that. We actually did do a review on Secret Invasion, and it wasn't that good. Like it was all right watching it, but looking back on it, between the very slow build up, the just the pacing of it at all, in which I understand the pacing of it kind of matches something of a I don't know Captain America, the first one. I understand with it not being as much superhero-y type stuff, and it being more so of a spy agency, government corruption, that type of thing. I understand with it being something like that, that's it's supposed to be slower pace. However, it's still Marvel and there's still a certain type of pacing, even with that type of category. It being, I feel like there's a certain type of pacing that was just faster than what Secret Invasion allowed itself to be. Also, the ending was absolutely terrible. Like it was garbage. It was god awful. Like to the point where our episode that we did on the finale of Secret Invasion got the most views, and I assumed it was because people were pissed off and they were looking for some type of explanation on why the hell or looking for somebody to agree with them, and we agreed it was terrible. It didn't make any sense. It was super fast. It was abrupt. It was stupid. Like it was god awful. It was trash, and that brought down the stock for the entire show. So okay. So as of flops, I would say for Marvel in the last couple of years, just for shows, She-Hulk, Secret Invasion, confirmed flops. Everything else, Moon Knight, uh, Daredevil so far, Agatha all along, those were really good. I want to say Moon Knight just got confirmed for a second season. So I'm not fully understanding what the problem is so far. I get the money thing. I get that they're putting a lot of money into this stuff. 650 million for a TV show for 2 seasons. Uh Star Wars, that's insane. Y'all are tripping. I don't know what the hell y'all got going on. Lucasfilms or whatever it's called. Y'all got way too much expendable income to just be dumping that much into it, and it didn't affect barely anything as far as the outcome for essentially the motherfuckers that own y'all. But let's keep going.
million
Apologies
dollars.
for the
Where did
not
the money
this video not being as
go?
I'm not sure
And then
what's going on with it,
you
but
look at the news we've been covering over the last 2 or 3 months at the channel. The story where Jeremy Renner in an interview admitted that Marvel Studios only offered him half of the money that they paid him for season 1, and we then got reports later in the week that behind the scenes Marvel didn't even want to make the show. Then we got reports that not only were they only going to do street level heroes, but shows like
come on, I want to hear that. Go back a little bit.
Then we got reports that not only were they only going to do street level heroes, but shows like Nova, a space show, were not in the budget and were indefinitely put on hold, and that specifically Marvel would not be doing any more
I do not understand what that term means. Hold means to come later, to not just yet. Indefinite means final. Like this is cut off. This is absolute. So absolutely coming soon doesn't make sense to me. Or absolutely waiting on doesn't make sense to me as far as a project. I've never understood what that means. So I don't know. In which I'm not too crazy about Nova. The only thing I know about him is that he was in the older animated Spider-Man. I know he's something of a Captain Marvel-esque type person where he's got the light energy thing going. But and I know he's a space character, but that's all I know. I'm not clamoring for a Nova show, honestly. So, but I guess being as it's not in high demand, like I haven't heard anybody say anything about it. So being that it's not in high demand, I understand them putting a hold on it. I just don't understand the terminology of the hold, but whatever. And again, sorry for the buffering, guys. I don't know what's going on with it.
TV
This button.
series for characters that were in the movies. Vision would have the last one with Vision Quest. Now, of course, depending on
I'm definitely waiting on that. Vision Quest looks like it's gonna be fire. Come on, play.
what corner of the fan base you reside, there will be those who have reasons that they think that, quote, Marvel went broke, but can't also deny that Marvel Studios didn't show their lack of experience when it came to television shows at almost every level, very obviously starting with the corporate level and the then CEO Bob Chapek, who thought it was a good idea to make as much content as possible regardless of the quality, and the inexperience with some of the writers and filmmakers Marvel Studios chose to hire. That's where they wanted to save their money. And let me be specific about this. They have had people write versions of scripts for their multiverse movies, their TV shows, and their movies who have never penned scripts in Hollywood before. That's a fact. That also led to some of these television shows having insanely bad pacing, where maybe
Mm.
you would get a good couple of episodes out of the gate, but the show would completely fall apart, not to mention the huge CGI gaffes for shows like She Hulk, well, and the absolutely lackluster storytelling that was Secret Invasion.
That makes a hell of a lot of sense. That makes a hell of a lot of sense. I spoke on the what's it called? The writers strike earlier. So instead of they pulled a what's the name of that movie with freaking uh Keanu Reeves in it. Replacements. They pulled the replacements and they just pulled people off the streets that had never, not off the streets literally, but they pulled people off the streets that had never written a script before and put them in charge of writing Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion, which had a like 5 year build up. They put brand new people on it. Why? Why do that? Why not just handle the writer strike, see what the hell is going on? This is what happens when you don't value your tools. Your writers are your tools. And this is what happens when you don't value your tools. They figured they could just switch them out, replace them with some other people, and everything was going to be fine, and we wouldn't notice. We clearly noticed that Marvel shows, I want to say up to that point, being Moon Knight, WandaVision, uh, 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 those are the only two I can think of off my head off the top of my head right now. But with just those two as an example, right? They were really, really good, like extremely good, and the fall off in comparison with WandaVision and Moon Knight compared to She Hulk and uh Secret Invasion, it's a vast difference. It's a vast difference. It is quite literally night and day. Two of them are one side, those two are complete garbage. The other two are probably two of the best shows that I've watched in a while, especially as far as Marvel. And that's saying a lot because I still count all of the Netflix stuff, the Defenders, Luke Cage, what is it, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, and Daredevil. I count all of those. I don't count Shield because that came out on CW, but all of the rest of them I count. And Netflix did they motherfucking thing on that shit. Like they wild out on them shows, and I've watched all of them season for season, show for show, at least 3 times a piece. Oh, Punisher as well. I'm tripping. I completely forgot about that one. Punisher I've watched at least 4 times, and that's 2 seasons. So in comparison, bad fall off, terrible fall off. So that's that's Marvel's fault. I can't be mad with that that being a contributing factor to these shows not living up to expectation and it not turning into subscribers for the service makes sense. That's a bad judgment call, and yeah, it was stupid. They had no business doing that. They tried to save money instead of addressing the problems that they had, and they paid for it, literally.
That all added up to a bunch of diehard fans dropping out, tuning out, and not watching shows that were worth the watch, like Loki Season 2, Agatha All Along, and of
Oh,
course,
I
as we just
forgot.
mentioned, Daredevil, which
I
again didn't.
completely, and this isn't because it was bad, but Loki was really, really good. Loki was super good. That man, yeah, did Marvel, y'all bugging, y'all bugging. I don't know how y'all did that. I don't know how y'all fucked that bag up like that, but like just the comparison, bro. If I were to rate them as far as Moon Knight, Loki, and Agatha all along and WandaVision. WandaVision is at the top no matter what. Loki comes after that. It's kind of a toss up between Moon Knight and damn it. What was it? What was it? Damn. Moon Knight, WandaVision, Agatha all along, Loki. Moon Knight 4, Loki's definitely 2, WandaVision 1, and I keep forgetting one. I don't care, whatever. But and it's not by a lot. Like all of those are really good and they're really close in the rating for me. So with having those and then you shit the bed twice with She-Hulk and Secret Invasion, that's unacceptable. That's absolutely unacceptable.
Even find its way onto the charts, which to me is mind boggling. Now, look, in this case, Bob Iger's revelation, or rather admission, may be specifically for Disney Plus, but the symptoms also exist on the other side in their theatrical releases, where we've seen a decline
Mm.
steadily in the Marvel box office while they're comparatively successful with the amount that they make to the
What's
rest
going
of
on?
Hollywood
Just getting a
in
bag.
comparison to how much they cost to make and what Marvel spends on the budgeting and then splitting half with theaters. These movies, in
I have
some
to
cases,
I have to go back a little
cost
bit
to
just
make
to
and what
help it
Marvel spends on the
fix
budgeting
itself.
and then splitting half with theaters. These movies, in some cases, are barely or not even marginally successful or making any money at the box office. And so,
This is
where
annoying.
Marvel was used to trying to hit that $1 billion mark and was still able to with Deadpool and Wolverine, let's face it, it's Deadpool and Wolverine. For some of these other movies like Captain America, Brave New World, or the Thunderbolts, they're not having the kind of success that they hoped, and this is going to lead to the exact same thing where they won't be able to justify the budgets that they've been spending in the past. Now, incredibly,
I completely get that. There was a fall off between everything before them and Captain America Brave New World and um Thunderbolts. I actually saw both of those in theaters and I'm a little bit lenient just because I'm kind of Marvel biased and but I mean just to be blatantly honest, they were not as good as their previous products. They just weren't. Hell, even to, and I hate to do this, but even to compare the flops, and this is kind of unfair, but to compare the flops of uh let's just as of recent, right? So along with Thunderbolts, Secret Invasion, uh She-Hulk, all of the stuff that's come out, let's say within the last 3 years. I didn't watch the second Joker because I refused to watch that movie where they got Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn. I'm just not doing it. At least I assume that's what it is. But they put so much emphasis on Lady Gaga. I was like, I'm not watching this. I'm not watching it. But that's one. Penguin, and I'm talking DC Comics now, as far as their releases as of late. Penguin, fire, super fire. Joker, first one, fire. And I know that I don't think that's like the last 5 years. I think that's more so going back like maybe five, uh 5 years instead of three, but super fire. What else? Peacemaker, dope. Freaking I didn't watch any of the Aquaman movies, but I saw that they had a good review to them. My wife is watching them with my daughter right now, and they're digging them. And I feel like I'm missing something. Batman. In comparison to the other Batmans, not as much of a hit. However, one, we're talking about the difference between Christian Bale and Cedric Diggory from fucking Harry Potter, or Edward from Twilight, whichever one you want to go with. But I refuse to call him Batman. He's not Batman yet. Uh, and with the time period that they put that story in, I take that into consideration too. And so, though it's not super up there with uh what was it? The Christian Bale Batmans. Though it's not super up there with that, they did a good job with what they did. I don't know if it's they're counting it kind of as like a hard reset for DC Comics uh cinematic universe, but it was all right. Like it was pretty good actually, you know. So just in comparison, the hit to miss ratio is way higher for DC as of right now in comparison to Marvel. So and Marvel has been as soon as Marvel entered the race, as soon as they officially entered the race, because we've been seeing DC stuff as far back as I don't know when the first Superman came out, like the '80s or some shit. Like I know one of them had Richard Pryor in it, but all of the Superman movies, all of the different variations of Batman movies, the uh the shows that they did with Gotham and I'm missing one. Uh I'm missing one, but I can't remember what it was. But oh, Flash, the other CW show. And Arrow. They were smoking Marvel. Now they hadn't entered the race yet. I don't officially count their entering into the race until Iron Man 1, but they had two Hulk movies before that. Didn't do that well. They had Spider-Mans, but those were Sony, so I don't count them as heavily. So, but DC was smoking them. And then when Marvel decided to turn up and really put everything into what they were doing, shit, shit. This is lack of pre-production. I apologize. Goddamn laptop about to die. Lack of pre-production. That's on me. My bad. I have to do this, otherwise this motherfucker's gonna go off. Boom. Cool. Good. Boom. It's charging. All right, cool. But yeah, where was I at? DC was smoking and I'm not editing that out. I don't care enough. But uh DC was absolutely smoking the shit out of Marvel. Marvel got into the race and said, "All right, we finna turn up on y'all motherfuckers," and then had 3, 4 great phases of Marvel releases. Like absolutely great. They contributed heavily to the back end of my childhood. Like from 2008 to 2017, where I'm well into adulthood, they're smoking shit. You know what I'm saying? And now it's a pretty even race, and it shouldn't be. You know, so I don't know, man. Like it's Disney, Disney got a point in pointing the finger at Marvel. Play, bitch. Like, hell, this motherfucker don't want to play. What the hell? Oh, this might be because it's raining outside. I might have to actually go ahead and end this. Come on. Son of a bitch. Yeah, this shit is fucking bugging the fuck out. I might have to go ahead and end it here. Hell, I'm at 30 minutes of a video, 35 minutes of a video. Uh, and I don't want to keep recording if it's gonna keep bullshitting me. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. We're gonna see what the fuck else happens with this whole Marvel thing. I might come back and just do a part two and maybe just add it on the back end of this. Um, but I literally I can't do anything right now. Like the video literally won't play. Well, let me. Nope, that's not working. All right, I'm ending it. Fuck it. Real Rap Coalition. I'm out this bitch. Technical difficulties. What can you do? Gonna try to work on getting this shit better. Peace out.
that they've been spending in the past. Now, incredibly, I'm saying this while Marvel is embarking on making Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, where they've already ponied up 150 million plus for just Robert Downey Jr. plus another 100 million to the Russos, and so really the cost of one of these movies deep.
Hold on. Those numbers are crazy.
Wars, where they've already ponied up 150 million plus for just Robert Downey Jr. plus another 100 million to the Russos, and so
150 million to one person, though I get it. It's Robert Downey Jr. I get it. You can make an argument that Marvel started falling off after they killed off Iron Man. You can make a pretty good argument. Ugh, Jesus, 150 to him and 100 to the Russo, and that might be. They said Russo brothers, so that might be 150 million each. So 2 million between the two of them, and 150 to Robert Downey Jr. That's already 4 M's, damn near. That's already almost 4 M's. I'm sorry, 400 M's. That's. I don't know if that's a good decision. I don't know.
really the cost of one of these movies deep before they even shoot film. So it seems a little ridiculous to talk about Marvel Studios possibly pulling back when they're about to embark on making what might be two of the most expensive movies of all time. We know they're on pace to actually do that, but the truth is that the Avengers titles have a certain guarantee, well, at least they used to, like Deadpool and Wolverine, where there's an expectation of $1 billion break even plus. I expect those movies both to overperform regardless of how poorly the brand has done up until now, and the real test will be to see if that can actually save Marvel, which is how they're going to justify this enormous spending. Look, you can always say that something is in service of something else. Basically, if you release Captain America Brave New World and it even comes close to breaking even at the box office, then you just say it's an investment in the Avengers brand. But if the Avengers brand themselves can't actually be profitable, then you justify that by saying, well, we'll invest, $2 billion in making Secret Wars and Doomsday because it's worth it to try to save the Avengers brand and Marvel, the Marvel Studios brand. Then you're always just kicking the can down the road for profitability. And as I've said since the beginning, if Bob Iger actually leaves Disney before he attempts to try to package this up and sell it, I would be totally surprised, because the amount of money he would stand to make from doing something like that and before he retires would be astronomical. Of course, there's only a short list of companies or conglomerates that could even buy Disney. We've talked about it before at the channel. Some of you think it's ludicrous. I think it's ludicrous as well. Still doesn't mean he won't try to do it, and that's the other reason that you would front load huge things like Marvel Studios' Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars with the anticipation of trying to backload the sell and cash out. But hey, you know what? Topic for a different video. Now, what this means for Marvel Studios going forward, if
The idea of the next two Avengers movies make or break the continuation of whatever that dude's name is, owning or not owning Disney. It seems like it's like whether or not we win the Super Bowl on the back of one linebacker. Like if you think of the ah, I don't know if that's a truly fair example. If I were to place, and this might be wrong, but if I were to place Marvel at a position on a football team, on Disney's football team, right? I don't know. I know they're definitely an important player. I don't know about quarterback because Disney has done very much well on its own. It's definitely probably those two words together don't make sense. But he more like the running back. More like the running back or like the main receiver, like the go-to guy. But I don't think that the success of Disney Plus being solely on Marvel is fair to Marvel. I understand, yes, they did great when they were just a singular entity. I understand the business move behind bringing them in to the conglomerate of Disney/Disney Plus. But putting the success on the entire Disney Plus franchise on Marvel's shoulders is crazy to me. They've gone through everything else, the writers' strike, the COVID, the everything that's been going on. They've been dealing with it too. They've had their own little problems. Jonathan Majors, for example. Disney has had their problems too. Jack Sparrow being one of said problems. Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp. But I don't know. I don't know, man.
they're under the Disney banner or not, but for projects, say, after Avengers Secret Wars as we wade into Phase 7, expect a ton less live action content on Disney Plus. I'm thinking maybe one live action show a year, and the rest will be animation because it seems like they have found some success with X-Men 97. Whether or not that translates into subscriptions, not really revealed, but as far as animation, it's a lot less of a cost and investment than the live action TV shows. And as far as the films,
To address that real quick, I did not bring up X-Men 97. I did not bring up the Amazing Spider-Man or Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, whatever it is. Or at least I don't think I did. But X-Men 97 did really, really well too. I don't count What If. I don't even know what that is really. I don't watch it. But that slows down things for the fans so much, and we've been so spoiled over the past decade with things just being released so much. We're still getting used to the new formula of this slow release thing because of after COVID, everything slowed down, everything got pushed back, everything got put on the back burner, and I'm certain that it's not going to translate to more subscribers. If they're not subscribing now, and who's to say that that makes better content of slowing down and focusing on you know, fewer projects at a time, especially when you're bringing brand new people off the street to write these scripts. I'm sorry, that's still extremely stupid to me and extremely lazy of them to do. But whatever.
I would expect the budgets on those to go down as well. It's really hard to keep justifying.
I do not see that happening. I do not see that happening. They keep pulling money out of thin air for all this other shit, they're not gonna slow down on the budget. They may need to refigure out how to distribute the budget, but who takes a cut? I know the actor's not going to take a cut, not the established ones. I know the Anthony Mackies, the Robert Downey Jr.'s, the Tom Hollands, the all of those, the Samuel Jackson. Samuel may take a pay cut. He's older. He's I don't know. He may take a pay cut. But if I was him, I wouldn't. Not with all the work that he's put in. So then, do if you can't take it from the actors, do you take it from the the visual artists? Do you take it away from the choreographers? Do you take it away from the videographers? Do you take it away from the directors? You definitely don't take it away from the directors because they're probably the most prestige in the movie business, though it's not sung as loudly as actors. The director for a movie is just as important as the actors that you pick. So I don't know how they would redistribute money, but I'm almost certain they are not gonna be trying to spend less money altogether. I just don't see that happening.
Spending 250 million on the budget for a huge movie, then to spend another 100 to 150 million in marketing to start 400 million in the hole to turn around and say make 350 or 400 million and basically lose half of the money and then try to write it off as an investment in a bigger brand that is Marvel Studios. Eventually, the checks stop coming. Now, obviously, it's the same as it's ever been for Marvel diehard fans. We were into comics when they were cool. We were into comics when they weren't cool. We were into the X-Men when they weren't cool. We were into the X-Men when they were cool. And if people want to crap on Marvel Studios right now because of the mistakes they've made or the Disney banner or whatever they want to go at, that's okay too. We're still here. We're still checking in. And that's where something like Marvel, I think, is maybe down but never out as long as they can course correct. And if they absolutely knock it out of the park with Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars with the X-Men on the horizon, I think there will always be that chance for them to use the diehard Marvel fan base to keep the franchise alive. Whether or not it ever crosses over as mainstream as Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, well, that will be Marvel Studios' fight. But for now, we're all still here because we're all still Marvel fans. You guys let me know all your thoughts down below.
Hinging the success of Disney Plus or Marvel based off of Secret Wars. I forget the other one that he said. Secret Wars. I guess that's Avengers, Doctor Doom, whatever, and X-Men on the bench, coming off the bench. That could work. Those are Avengers is always going to hit. We haven't had an Avengers movie since Endgame, I guess, or Infinity Wars. I always get those two mixed up in the order. But we haven't had an Avengers movie since then, and they've always been really, really good, right? Even down to Civil War, which was a Captain America movie, but had all the Avengers in it. So a lot of people count it as an Avengers movie. X-Men coming in, they've already introduced them at the end of, spoiler alert, the Marvels. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. I keep hearing about the Avengers versus X-Men. That could be huge. But going back to the money thing, you cannot cut money and say, all right, guys, we're gonna do uh X-Men versus Avengers. Think about how many people that is that they have to pay. They have to pay actor money to at least 20 people. They have to pay at the absolute minimum B-list celebrity actor rates to 20 people at least. That would mean that everything before that has to not only do great in box office, it has to break records in box office twice. Once for each movie. I don't see that happening. Not anytime soon. I think it's possible. I wouldn't bet on it. So we'll see what happens. Real Rap Coalition podcast. It's Black Roots. Like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please. I understand that we've been super slow lately. I understand that a lot of stuff hasn't been being put out. Niggas just been busy. That's all. Niggas just been busy. Niggas been having other shit to do. But trying to bring it back. Appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tune in to the next video.